What happened to my son on February 19th, 2024 at 15:03 when he was pronounced dead? When he was pronounced dead, the victim of a gunshot wound at the hands of his mother was no accident. Jihad's murder is the culmination of years of systemic abuse that spiral out of control.
This is a case that took place in Columbus, Ohio, that just, you can't make any sense of it. It's horrific what happened. What you heard right there is a father giving a victim impact statement during sentencing. You heard him, his son being pronounced dead. Now, what is so shocking about this and what everyone is just so taken aback by is that woman that you saw there in custody being sentenced is the mother of his son. And she was just sentenced after, I don't know that I call it a sweet plea deal, but kind of. I don't know. What do you think?
Fairfield County mother headed to prison after pleading guilty to taking her own son's life.
Just hours ago, LaQuandra Williams facing a judge, learning her fate. Rodney Dunnigan now to take us inside the courtroom.
This case, quite frankly, shocking. LaQuandra Williams admitting to gunning down her own son. All of it after a simple argument.
Are you prepared for sentencing here today?
Yes.
In front of a Fairfield County judge Monday, LaQuandra Williams facing the stiff consequences of a split decision.
No sentence which the court could impose here today can undo the harm and the consequences which resulted from your actions.
Williams pleading guilty to the February shooting death of her 21-year-old son, Jihad Hughes. Investigators say Williams actually tried to stab her son before picking up a gun and pulling the trigger. An argument between the pair apparently led to it all. Messages from an online obituary page describe Hughes as a nice, respectable, and quiet young man. Williams was sentenced to life in prison with the first possibility of parole after 18 years. This is a crime that rocked many in their Fairfield County community. Disturbed, a mother could be accused and now convicted of taking the life of her own son.
So you hear the judge, no justice, I'm paraphrasing, rendered in this courtroom can bring back the life lost. A mother shooting her son, and it may have been in that report, I can't recall exactly, but before that, first trying to stab him. I mean, you can't make sense of this. And why I say a sweet plea deal is she was indeed sentenced to life in prison, but that's life with parole. And after only 18 years, will she get that? Who knows? I'm just saying, though, for a mother gunning down her son, causing a distraction. It's such a whole crazy story. And as you heard in those reports, there's an online obituary where people are commenting about her son that she killed, about him just being, a good dude, and, just being heartbroken by this. There's other children of this mother online in comments, telling people, you don't know my mom. She wasn't in her right state of mind. She wouldn't do this. Mental illness is real. You hear the father saying this is years of abuse, systemic abuse. These two other children are saying she wasn't in her state of mind. Other people are saying that they knew the woman, that she was a caretaker, and she was caring individual and took care of their family members and stuff like that. Like, it's just such a crazy, bonkers case. But 18 years and she's eligible for parole again, and making it is a whole nother thing. But just the fact of that being a sentence kind of shocks me. But what I think it ultimately comes down to is the fact, as this all happened in August of 2024, the court process, that is, I think ultimately the court just didn't want to have a trial. It was set to go to trial, this case, and to traumatize the family any further. I think, I don't know, that's my only guess. I mean, it's still a life sentence at the end of the day, But I don't know, it's just so shocking. And you see other people in the comments saying like, oh, you know, I was just locked up with your mom. She definitely shouldn't be in jail. She should be in a mental facility. But at the end of the day, you know, the court didn't deem her incompetent. She wasn't found. Well, she would have had to go to trial for that to be found not guilty by reason of insanity, which I've been pointing out is two different things. You know, competency there's another case actually in Columbus, Ohio. I'll pin 2 videos below where there's about to be a serial killer prostitute trial going on, where this woman was ODing guys and robbing them, and it's just some real sick, twisted stuff. She was actually found competent. It's so during the court process, they have those hearings and they say, no, this defendant is competent. This court process shall go forth. You know what I mean? But at a trial, if defense attorneys, you know, argue a case a certain way and things about mental health come out in different testimony and things of that nature and questioning, a jury can't say, hey, we believe that this person is not guilty because they were not sane when they committed this crime, and maybe they still are not sane. I don't know, you know what I mean? But either way, in both instances, the individuals typically are put in mental facilities. There's also another video I'll link below that's kind of pertinent to what we're speaking about here with competency versus not guilty by reason of insanity. There's someone else being referenced as the Black Dahmer, who was just freed, and his case has a similar situation with competency and mental health and whatnot. But in this situation, you see that was not the case. The court never ruled that way. You know, they said, we're going forth with this, and she took a plea. When you take a plea, you waive your right to any appeals, to anything, you know, like it's set in stone that you are taking responsibility for the guilt of the crime. And typically you have to put in your own words what exactly you did. You know what I mean? So it's just a terrible situation. It seems unthinkable, so shocking. How could it happen? You know, you have other children, like I said, reacting, talking about don't judge their mother, and you know, that's their mom. They love her. Mental health is a real thing. I've struggled with it in my life. My family has, my parents have. To be honest, it feels like nowadays, like more than half of the population suffers from some kind of mental health ailment. You know what I mean? Where in the past, maybe it wasn't out there like that. Maybe people didn't speak about it as much. They were ashamed. You know, the society has changed where they recognize things, you know, that they didn't used to. And it's just totally different thing nowadays for people to come out and speak about it and be diagnosed and whatnot. Where in the past, it just was, I don't know that I like want to say taboo, or I don't know, it was like shameful. People just felt like that was weakness or something. But again, in this current climate, you know, comment, guys, join the discussion, subscribe to the channel, hit the buttons. That's what it's all about, hearing from you guys, the people over here. But it really feels too post the sickness, the lockdown that happened back 2020. You know, society was shook in such a way that many people kind of lost it, and you know, just have not been the same since. But with all that being said, there's still no situation, no instance, no anything for someone to take a life and claim mental health, I don't believe, or to and on top of it, a family member, your own child, her son that she birthed herself. Like, it's just so crazy. I don't know what to make of this case. Again, that's why I'm bringing it to the blogosphere here to talk with everyone and hear what you guys think. And you know, they never really in early instances, you see they were talking about motive and stuff like that, and there really was no motive. It was just a domestic argument gone wrong. As you hear the reports, witnesses on the scene relayed details of the violence. The court indictment says the altercation between mother and child allegedly began as a domestic incident inside the Tussing Place apartments when Williams grabbed a knife and attempted to stab her son. So originally she was going to stab him, but witnesses went on to tell investigators they attempted to help get the knife away from the mother, but in the end it was the son who was able to remove the weapon from her himself. Being disarmed, however, allegedly further set the defendant off. "I'm going to show you something," Williams said, according to witnesses, and then went over to her vehicle. Now, think about that, guys. Listen, these kids, I think, and I mean no disrespect to them or anything, you know what I mean? I'm just talking about the news here. We're talking about things in society, mental health, etc. It's their mother. They're having problems dealing with this. But you know what I'm saying? If you peep what's going on here from witnesses that were on the scene, they disarmed the mom. They took, or the son actually himself, as others tried to, took the knife from her. She flat out said, "I'm going to show you something." That's her, consciously deciding, in the heat of an argument, "I got you. I'm going to shoot you," is what this, they're pointing out that she went to the vehicle because, according to this affidavit, the witnesses knew Williams kept a handgun inside her vehicle and proceeded to lock her outside. So she's making a conscious decision and trying to get to the vehicle, to get to the weapon. She's locked out of it. But the son, he was trying to leave. He packed his bags. Then when he left the residence with bags in hand, his mother allegedly got out of the car and shot him at close range. Multiple witnesses says she was arrested without incident, and she confessed to the shooting during an interview. And this is a quote here: "My heart is so crushed. I never could have imagined this happening." The sister of the victim and daughter of defendant wrote on Facebook, "I lost my brother and mom. If you're dealing with mental illness, please and go and get help." And real talk, man, we were just speaking about it. It's affecting everyone. Go get help. There's no shame in it. Don't put it off. That's another part of, I think that the sickness and the lockdown did to a lot of people, right? Is you're sitting around the house, not motivated, not being as active, maybe, you know what I mean? And you start putting things off and stuff like that. And, you can't do that in life. You got to stay keeping it pushing, keeping things moving. No stagnation, this is just horrific, right? This is obviously like just such a terrible crime. We're talking about different things here, struggles people are going through, and a tragedy that this family went through. And, it's heartbreaking, like I said, to see all this play out. It's just wild, the defendant, now this, was some time ago. Again, you see people saying that the son was a man of God, loved gospel music, and in other Facebook posts, she had insisted her mother was not mentally well at the time of the incident. And, here we are. The sentence has been rendered life, possibility of parole after 18 years. Is that a sweet deal? Is that shocking to you? Do you think that it was, that the court just didn't want to put this family, that's just been destroyed by this horrible thing that happened, let's just have her plea out and end this, and seeing the father break down like that. I mean, geez, I couldn't believe it when I saw this story. So please join the discussion in the comments. Subscribe to the channel, Crime Time Podcast. A lot of true crime and crime content coming every day, all day. But again, it's about talking with you guys. So support the channel, subscribe. Let's talk. Everyone, let's work on ourselves, right? Get help if you need it. Stay focused, stay positive. It's crazy out here, man. I'm not trying to be one of those people like, oh, it's crazy times we're living in, but it really is, And you can't let things get the best of you. Don't let life live you. live life. You heard? So with that being said, I'm up out of here. Look forward to talking to everyone. Thoughts and prayers out to this family. You know, like that judge was saying in court, nothing that the court can do can, I mean, anytime a life is lost, it's horrific. You know what I'm saying? It's terrible. You can't bring that life back. But I mean, I can't even imagine, like, imagine presiding over a courtroom like that. You're a judge and you're in there with a mother who the father is giving a statement to about years of abuse. And you know, the mom is just sitting right there, killed their son, pled guilty to it. Like, this is something else, man. So I'm out of here. Peace.